Can you go to your seat so we can move on? Yeah, I'm trying. Kelly, discuss.
Last gleaming, whose proud stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Good afternoon, class of 2022. Would you receive this blessing? God in our midst, grant your blessing on all who gathered here today as we celebrate the beginning of the academic year and mark the entrance of this class of 2022 into the community of learning here in Lycoming College. We ask for you to smile upon these students as they open their hands to receive the experience and growth this new season will provide. Open their minds to the wisdom and knowledge offered by this faculty and student body. and open their eyes to the rich, beautiful diversity found on this campus, in this city, and throughout the greater Susquehanna Valley. Grant the faculty and staff of this campus a greater capacity for kindness towards students, love for their vocation, and generosity of wisdom. Grant them renewed passion needed for a new academic year. We especially ask today for your gracious gift of peace to the family and loved ones here today. Grant them contentment in seeing their children become adults, released to be scholars and seekers as Lycoming College students. Grant us all today a greater sense of integrity, community, and justice as you bring these individuals from across the state, the country, and the world together as one campus family. Grant us curiosity and creativity and resiliency inside and outside the classroom. May the peace, goodness, and flourishing you intend for humanity be ever present in our midst. Amen.
Good afternoon. What a fine day. Welcome, class of 2022, those joining the class of 2021 and 2020, special guests, and those of you joining us online. My name is Dan Miller, and I'm the Vice President for Student Life and Dean of Students. It's my pleasure to be among the many voices of welcome that you've already heard today and you will hear in the coming days and weeks. Before I continue, however, I'd like to ask that you join me in expressing thanks for the many hands that welcomed you here today. These enthusiastic students represent the Student Senate and fraternity and sorority life, illustrating both leadership and service at Lycoming. Please join me in thanking the move-in crew. Today, I know, is filled with many emotions. I have a sense, having talked to many of you, it's mostly excitement and a good deal of anticipation as you begin your Lycoming experience. This is good. To our family members, I know you too are experiencing many emotions. My sense is pride is amongst the strongest. You should be proud, and we are honored to have your sons and daughters joining the Lycoming community. This gathering, the new Student Convocation, I think of two very significant meanings for this event. The first is acknowledgement of past achievement that led to your acceptance and ultimately your decision to enroll at Lycoming College. The second, it's your formal induction into this community of scholars, artists, community servants, student athletes, and seeks to be inclusive, acknowledging and celebrating diversity of race, culture, identity, and faith. Congratulations. We're excited to have you as the newest members of the Lycoming College community. This afternoon, you'll hear from a number of different voices. Your Student Senate President, the President of the college, the Provost, a distinguished member of the faculty, and the Dean of first-year students. All will have good advice, and I mean really good advice for you. These individuals collectively represent the college that welcomes you here today. A bit of advice from me. Pursue your Lycoming experience actively. Your undergraduate years should not be a passive experience. Use your imagination to see your academic success, see yourself doing leadership, service, personal growth, and development. It all begins today. You have heard to think deeply, act boldly, write your own Lycoming story, imagine pathways forward, dare to do, and to seek meaning-making opportunities. I'm confident that actively engaging in your Lycoming experience will result in a great deal of lasting personal fulfillment and professional success. As I conclude on a personal note, I look forward to being a part of your Lycoming experience, congratulating you on academic achievements, cheering your athletic abilities, applauding your artistic accomplishments, and most important of all, supporting your aspirations and goals. Again, welcome and best wishes for a rewarding first year at Lycoming.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael Panzishin. I am the president of the Student Senate, and it is my honor to welcome all of the parents and the class of 2022 on behalf of all the students here at Lycoming College. Today, like in years past, I will offer a bit of advice, but most importantly, I will offer you a challenge. Now, you may not think it, but college is one of the most unique experiences of your life. I mean, think about it. To you, it may be, I'm just going to college, but you'll be spending your next 4 years living, learning, and having fun next to your peers with nearly no adult supervision and having to accept all the responsibility by yourself and take it in stride. Now, this will change you. And it may seem far away, but trust me, as a senior, graduation is a lot closer than it seems. My advice is this: don't waste these 4 years. Learn all that you can. Try new things, try new sports, new foods, new anything. Make new friends, make new relationships, make the best of all of it. But most importantly, don't be afraid to fail. Because failing and getting back up can only make you better. I've learned this lesson a few times myself the hard way, and I can tell you that it works. And with that, my challenge is this. I challenge you all to leave this campus in 4 years a different person than you are today. You will have to change to become a different person, and to fail and to get back up. This change may be hard, it may come quickly and sharply, it may sneak up on you over time, and one day you'll find yourself completely different. But one thing I can tell you is don't be afraid of this change, because at Lycoming College, your students, your faculty, your mentors, your coaches, everyone here does their best every day to make this change good for you and to make you a better person. And if in 4 years you leave here a better version of yourself, then you will know that your time at Lycoming College was not wasted, and you will have succeeded in my challenge. So I wish you all the best, and thank you.
I paradisi, I kaya laba file. I paradisi, I kaya laba file. I paradisi, I kaya laba file. Kula poso kula kona I paradisi. I paradisi, I kaya laba file. I paradisi, I kaya laba file. I paradisi, I kaya laba file. Kula poso puna kona I paradisi. I paradisi, I kaya laba file. I paradisi, I kaya laba file. I paradisi, I kaya laba file. Kula poso puna kona I paradisi. I paradisi, I kaya laba file. I paradisi, I kaya laba file. I paradisi, I kaya laba file. Kula poso puna kona I paradisi. I paradisi, I kaya laba file. I paradisi, I kaya laba file. I paradisi, I kaya
That's a tough act to follow there. My name is Phil Sprunger, and as Provost and Dean of the College, it is my privilege to present our new first-year students to be formally accepted as the Lycoming College class of 2022. Before I do so, as you're now gathered together for the first time as a class, I would like to spend a moment illuminating who you collectively are as the class of 2022. There are about 360 new students here today. You are a diverse class, racially, ethnically, and internationally. About half of you come from Pennsylvania, and outside of Pennsylvania, you come from 15 U.S. states and territories and the District of Columbia. Beyond the U.S. borders, you hail from 11 different countries, which are Canada, China, El Salvador, India, Japan, Liberia, Mauritius, quite a few from Mauritius, Nigeria, Palestine, Sweden, and Vietnam. Between all of the states and countries, the class has attended 255 different high schools. Your interests are diverse as well. In high school, you participated in many activities outside of the traditional classroom and athletic fields, including volunteering in the community at places such as Special Olympics and soup kitchens, and a whole lot more, earning Eagle Scout and Gold Award Scout status, participating in science Olympiads, joining orchestras, bands, and choruses, and lots of student government leadership. We even have a chess team captain who may want to challenge the provost to a game. Not right now, though. You're a strong academic class. Over 20% of you are in the top 10% of your high school classes, and about half of you are in the top 25% of your high school class. You'll spread academically across our majors, with the largest this year being business, biology, psychology, and criminal justice. Many of you are talented athletes, with 127 planning to join Lycoming College's varsity teams. That should be a very good year. I expect a lot from our teams. So, today is the dawn of your college career. You have chosen or will very soon choose classes that you will begin taking on Monday. You can embrace these courses along with the rest of your interests and activities and integrate these different parts into your education and your life, looking for connections and new insights. That is the key to lifelong learning, even after you graduate and move to the next stage of your life. You'll have a future where you remember and use not only what you have learned in your classes and activities, but one where you are also adept at connecting and weaving together the many skills and experiences that you will continue to gain. I do know that you are going to work very hard and make Lycoming College proud to call you alumni. So, I would now like to ask the class of 2022 to please stand and for President Trachte to move to the podium. President Trachte, at this time, on behalf of the faculty and trustees of the college, I am pleased to present you the Lycoming College class of 2022, and I ask that you officially accept them into the college.
So on behalf of the trustees and faculty of Lycoming College, I am delighted to accept the class of 2022, and I ask that all here join me in congratulating them on achieving this important milestone. Class, you may be seated. Thank you. Before I begin my remarks, I would like to ask the students and all present to join me in thanking three of our trustees who have joined us today. We have Peter Lynn, Carolyn K. Lundy, and Jim Scott, and they are sitting over here. Please let's thank them for being here. So I want first to join others in extending my warmest welcome to the families and friends of the class of 2022 and our newest transfer students. Today, as you have heard, marks an important moment in the life of a family. It is a time filled with mixed emotions, pride and a little sadness, joy and a bit of trepidation, but most importantly, it is the beginning of an exciting journey toward the next stage of life. Most of our new students have lived in a dependent relationship, family members, with one or more of you for the past 17 or 18 years. That dependency will, we hope, gradually diminish over the next several years, and when our new students earn their degrees, we can expect they will enter careers, live independently, and maybe even pay their own bills. Life, as you have known it, is changing, but it is changing in ways that are exciting and fulfilling. Class of 2022 and transfers, I extend a warm and enthusiastic welcome to each one of you as well. You are at the beginning of an exciting journey that will culminate at a commencement ceremony on the Fultz Quad behind me. It is an exciting time in your life, a time filled with possibilities. You have the opportunity to learn many new things, engage new experiences, and form new relationships. You are preparing yourself for a lifetime of meaning and careers filled with success. But as you have heard, if you want to succeed, you cannot approach your time at Lycoming College passively. The college is committed to providing you with a rich array of opportunities and possibilities for growth, but you need to choose and seize the ones that will advance your education and prepare you for life after college. Doing that requires a game plan, so I want to give you an assignment. This is an assignment that will go through many drafts and revisions, and it will be completed only when you graduate. But you should be thinking about it already. The assignment takes as its point of departure the phrases, think deeply, act boldly. They are used as hashtags on many of our social media posts, but my assignment charges you to ask yourself two questions. What will I do to develop my capacity to think deeply? And where and how will I become comfortable acting boldly? I give you this assignment because I know from talking to Lycoming College students that those who think deeply and act boldly are the ones who achieve the most success and find the most fulfillment from their college experience. They seize the opportunity to design their education. They shape and author a plan for success. By following their example, you too will be prepared to find success and meaning in your college experience. Now, thinking deeply means gleaning insights into the human condition through art and literature and music. It also involves learning about political, economic, and social systems, studying different societies, cultures, races, and ethnic groups, appreciating the lessons of the past, and gaining an understanding of scientific principles. Thinking deeply means acquiring knowledge of human nature, understanding social problems, and appreciating the human capacity to create works of art. Thinking deeply means learning how to make connections among these different ways of knowing. So what does this mean for your game plan? As you've heard from Provost Sprunger, it means your game plan should include not only the choice of a major, but also choices that will broaden your mind. You should intentionally select courses that come from many different disciplines. You should also challenge yourself to learn how to make connections among your courses. Broadening your knowledge base and learning to make these connections is the best preparation for a world where you will have to discover how to apply rapidly emerging technologies to social, economic, and political life, and this skill will be in high demand. Act boldly. Lycoming is a college where students are difference makers because they do act boldly. They conduct path-breaking research and publish papers with faculty. They make clutch plays in athletic contests. They volunteer in the community and create opportunity for others. They lead and form student organizations. They create works of art that are displayed in our art gallery in downtown Williamsport and at the President's House. They perform extraordinary music in the chapel and the Community Arts Center and on the quad. They bring characters to life on the stage of the Mary Welch Theater. They craft pieces of creative writing that are published in the Tributary and a national undergraduate literary journal. They intern at the world-renowned Smithsonian Institute. They act boldly. Lycoming students also seize the opportunity to explore the world. Many students pursue a second language and learn about other cultures. Some study French in Grenoble, or Spanish in Costa Rica, Spain, Ecuador, or Mexico, or German in Bamberg. Others enroll in May-term travel courses and visit countries like Ireland, Germany, China, Jamaica, and Vietnam. Some travel to El Naranjito in the Dominican Republic to work with coffee growers. Others travel to archaeological sites around the world. They act boldly. Finally, Lycoming students connect thinking deeply and acting boldly by completing enhanced academic experiences. They and their academic advisors use the Center for Enhanced Academic Experiences as a resource to find internships, international study destinations, opportunities to conduct research with faculty, and courses that require work in the community. So my assignment to you is as follows. Develop a game plan for your time at Lycoming. Include courses that will help you learn to think deeply and experiences that will nurture your capacity to act boldly. Class of 2022 and transfers, since you are new to Lycoming College, there is one other very important message I want you to hear from me as your president. This is a message about civility, reasoned dialogue, and mutual respect. We live in difficult and challenging times. All too often we hear about an act of terror that takes the life of innocent people somewhere on the planet. Around the world, we have witnessed the resurgence of ideologies rooted in hate and the belief that some humans are inherently inferior to others. Both acts of terrorism and ideologies of hate represent an affront to the values upon which this college was founded, the tradition of the liberal arts. It teaches us to respect every human life. It rejects extremism in any form and resists the temptation to simplify complex issues. Rather, we strive to appreciate cultural difference and a variety of viewpoints. These problems of our time, terrorism, political violence, racism, inequality, exclusion, and others, will likely become topics of discussion in your classrooms and in the residence halls. Some of these conversations may feel uncomfortable, but colleges like Lycoming are places where these discussions should take place. We are committed to creating an environment that values the free exchange of ideas. We debate vigorously, but we respect those with whom we disagree. Don't hesitate to express your point of view, but do so in a way that respects others and their viewpoint. Be open to the possibility that your views, like mine, may evolve or change over time. Conduct your discussions in and out of the classroom in a spirit of mutual respect and embrace the values of the liberal arts that lie at the heart of Lycoming College. So I charge you, go out and begin drafting your game plan. Have fun doing so. Take risks. Remember that it will evolve and your assignment will be finished only when you reach graduation. And when your game plan is executed, it will become part of the Lycoming College story, a history that is filled with students thinking deeply and acting boldly. Welcome, class of 2022 and transfers.
the quiet, misty morning, when the moon has gone to bed, when the sparrows stop their singing, and the sky is clear and red, when the summer ceased its gleaming, when the corn is past its prime, when adventure's lost its meaning, I'll be homeward bound in time. Guide me not to the pasture, chain me not to the plough, set me free to find my calling, and I'll return to you somehow. If you find it's me you're missing, if you're hoping I'll return, to your thoughts I'll soon be listening. In the road I'll stop and turn, then the wind will set me racing as my journey nears its end, and the path I'll be retracing when I'm homeward bound again. Guide me not to the pasture, chain me not to the plough, set me free to find my calling, and I'll return to you somehow. In the quiet, misty morning, when the moon has gone to bed, when the sparrows stop their singing, I'll be homeward bound
Good afternoon. My name is Carrie Richmond, and I'm a professor in the Department of Criminal Justice and Criminology here at Lycoming. And on behalf of the faculty, I want to welcome you, the class of 2022, to Lycoming and to congratulate you on all of the hard work you have done to get to this point today. I also want to remind you that no achievement is ever accomplished alone, and to remember and thank and appreciate the people in your life who have helped you get to this point today, many of whom are sitting behind you right now. They're rooting for you, and we as a college are rooting for you to be successful over the next 4 years here. So when President Traki asked me to speak today, he suggested that I offer advice to you as incoming students. Now, anybody who knows me knows that I am the worst person to ask advice from. I apparently have my own life put together enough, no position to be offering advice to anybody else on how to live theirs. And of course, at this point in your life, everybody's giving you advice already, I'm sure, about how to be successful in college, right? So how to prioritize your time, how to interact with your professors, how often to wash your sheets. And I don't want to be your mother right now, but more than once a semester, let me tell you. And it's overwhelming. At least that's how I felt when I went to college. So I thought that instead of giving you advice this afternoon, which, let's be honest, you probably wouldn't take anyway, I thought that I would talk to you about why I think the experience of going to college, which you're about to embark upon, is important. And the reason why I thought I would talk about this is because this is exactly what I wish somebody had told me when I went to college. So it's probably not the setting to say this in front of the president and the provost and my colleagues, But after I graduated from high school, I actually had no interest in going to college. But I did, because in my house there was no choice. You had no time to kind of take some time off. That gap year where you figure your life out wasn't really a thing in my house. And you graduated from high school and you went to college. But the reason why I didn't want to go is because I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do with my life. And college, as I understood it then, was a means to an end. Right? And everybody around me had some focus or interest or trajectory that they were pursuing. And I felt totally and completely lost. And many of you right now might know how that feels, right? Where everybody's asking you, what are you going to study? What are you interested in? What are you going to do when you graduate, right? But I went to college, and I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a struggle at times, particularly in the beginning. But looking back now on the experience, I realized how much it shaped me and my perspective. And as I say that, I hear my mother's voice in my head going, I told you so, right? But I didn't study criminal justice in college, but I had one experience that greatly influenced the career path that I ultimately chose. So during my junior year, I had the opportunity through a service learning course to intern for a year at the Suffolk County Jail in Boston, Massachusetts. It was an incredible experience. While I was there, I had the opportunity to get to know people who worked in the jail and to interact with those who were incarcerated there. I learned about issues of race and class and how that influences how somebody is treated by the criminal justice system. I was exposed to the injustices that incarcerated individuals experience, but also to the barriers faced by those who work in the prison who are trying to help them succeed. And it would ultimately be years before I pursued a career in criminal justice. This is an experience that profoundly shaped who I am. And these are the type of experiences that I want you to have during your 4 years at Lycoming, although I'm sure your parents don't want me to be saying this, that I want you to go into prisons. But I want students to broaden their perspective and to understand more deeply what is going on in the world around them and why it's occurring. I want you to become empowered and to think about what you want your place in the world to be and the impact that you want to have. Now, while many of my students want to work in the criminal justice system, the goal of my courses is actually not to help them get a job in the field, although obviously that's part of it. I want my students to become educated on what I believe to be is a pressing social issue. And so in order to help them understand the importance of this issue, I often begin my classes not by asking students what they want to do in the criminal justice system, but what their connection is to that system. So I typically ask students, how many of you know somebody who's been arrested? How many of you know somebody who has gone through the court system? How many of you know somebody who has been incarcerated or is currently in prison? Now, inevitably, over half of the class will have their hands raised, if not more, every time I do this exercise, right? And that in and of itself should tell us something about the criminal justice system, right? That in a class at a small liberal arts college in central Pennsylvania, over half of the students have some connection to the system. And all of us should have a vested interest as taxpayers, as who are funding this system. And so because of this, I want my students to understand the importance of knowing in greater depth how the system operates and the challenges facing our system, and to think critically about how these issues should be addressed. And while, yes, ultimately this will make them more competitive on the job market, it also makes them more informed citizens, which I believe helps to promote needed change in a society. So take the advantage of the opportunity that is in front of you to become more educated, to expand your mind and your experiences, and to be engaged. Don't worry about not having all the answers right now, but don't take what you're told at face value. Become critical thinkers and ask questions. Figure out what your passion is, and your true passion, not what someone else wants you to pursue. Think about how you can give back in a way that is meaningful to you for the opportunities that you've been given. And while I realize I started these remarks by saying I wasn't going to give advice, and now I'm doing the complete opposite, I have one last thing to share. And that's by coming to Lycoming, you're joining a community. And I think your generation knows all too well that the world can be a terrible place. And so by joining this community, you'll be embraced, right? We'll reach out to you, we'll support you, and we'll encourage you while you're here, because I think we all need a better sense of community these days. But it's up to you as a member of this community to do the same for others. Look out for one another, and above all, be kind to one another, because the relationships that you form here are going to have a lasting impact on you. So again, welcome, congratulations, and I wish you the best of luck as you begin your first semester.
First of all, how awesome is Dr. Carrie Richmond? I also want to acknowledge Michael Panzishin. Michael, you are fantastic, you are inspirational, and it seems just like yesterday you arrived with that 13-year-old Justin Bieber haircut. Great job, Michael. And how about this amazing choir? They have been practicing for 1.5 days. That's it. Imagine how fantastic they are going to be come homecoming and family weekend. Fantastic. So because these speeches were so fantastic, I am going to edit right here in front of you and not repeat, or try not to repeat too much of what we've heard. So let's see, right here's where I want to go. Here we go. A few months ago, I finally did something I had wanted to do since 1978. I visited the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. While there, I made sure to check out my childhood heroes like Michael Jack Schmidt and Steve Lefty Carlton from the 1980 Philadelphia Phillies. I also paid tribute to Jackie Robinson and other giants of the sport, like the Babe and the Yankee Clipper. What stuck with me most from the museum, however, was an unassuming display quoting a player from the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1979. I was not a fan of the team nor of the player, but what the player said is the message that I want to leave with you today. At the beginning of spring training in 1979, Pittsburgh Pirate Phil Garner said, "I got sick of watching us play last year. I'm not pointing fingers because I was worse than everyone else. We have to think of winning down here at spring training from game one. It's time to adjust our attitudes." So that year, Garner raised his personal batting average by 30 points and helped inspire his team, the Pittsburgh Pirates, to win the World Series. That's really not a pirate story, but woo, okay, there you go. So listen, here's the connection. At the end of the fall semester, I don't want you to look back to this moment and say, "I wish I would have worked harder. I wish I would have taken advantage of the amazing resources of Lycoming College. I wish I would have asked more questions. I wish I would have visited my professor during office hours." New Warriors, as your proud freshman dean, my advice is simple. Let's hit the ground running today, Monday, every day. And finally, please remember, this excellent academic community, your community, Lycoming College, with our amazing faculty, staff, students, alumni, and families, is here to support you individually and as a class every step of the way. Congratulations, and one final time, welcome to Lycoming College. So now if you would please stand for the alma mater, and immediately after the alma mater, President Trocti and the platform party will recess to the tented area for light refreshments. And as my father would say, just come right on over. Don't be shy. So we'll see you over at the tents.
Leave your folders on your chair.
Thank you.